Hey there, welcome to episode 3 of Everything Off Grid. Now, I said this channel was going to be a lot more about off-grid living than just my experience. I wanted to share those of my community here at Murramurra Co-op. Today, I'm going to let one of those members, Chelsea, who I've known for 18 years and who's lived here for about 20, talk about her experience of building a straw bale, poured earth and natural earth floor house for her and her 3 children. So Chelsea, she's got wonderful skills and experience in this area that she's going to share with you on this channel. And this is probably one of the first episodes where she'll be talking about the experience of owner building a home, some of the lessons learned, some of the mistakes, and some of the joys, and some of the cost-cutting measures. So, over to you, Chelsea.
Hi, I'm Chelsea, and this is our house. We're in Wombat Hollow Cluster at Murramurra Co-op. And this is our boot room. This is a great airlock, and it gets very muddy and wet up here a lot of the year and very cold. So this is where we put our muddy boots and wet jackets. But it's functional really mainly as an airlock actually to stop cold air flowing in winter. So come in. In here we have, this is our music room, and this is all surrounded by poured earth actually. Well, straw bale exterior walls for insulation and poured earth for thermal mass. And in here we've lime rendered the poured earth walls and done a bit of decorating, but it's sort of a bit of an everything room and great hangout party space. And welcome to the lounge. The lounge is, of course, straw bale exterior. Our windows are double glazed, argon gas filled, toughened glass windows, which would have been very expensive, but because we had years to collect materials before we started building, we managed to get these 5 large windows for $500. And all the other windows in the house, every window is double glazed, and we just got them for $10 here, you know, just on eBay. Just keep an eye out. This wall is poured earth, and it does have plaster on it because we wanted to lighten it up a bit, but it still collects the heat from the sun. And in winter we've got the eaves placed so that the sun reaches all the way to the back wall in winter, and in summer you can see now it's sunny outside but the sun is only just coming in. And it actually really heats up our earth floor. This is our earth floor and it feels like leather. I absolutely love it. To pour this, you know, we do have a damp course underneath, and then we put gravel, and then we poured a mix of, I think 20% lime and earth, and then 3 coats of different quantities of linseed oil, which we heated up, and beeswax. And then Ollie went around and burnished the whole floor with a couple of rocks, and we spent hours and hours just rubbing the floor, but it's made it, the more it gets walked on, the better it gets. So it stays really nice and it's soft underfoot. It's just like walking on leather. Our friend Rachel made this really nice fire guard, which I love. And this fire has an oven. This is a Thermolux Gourmet. An oven, and it's just nice that you can see the fire, I think. So it's a cooktop, it's an oven, and it's got a wet back in it. So they're placed in the sides of these. And this does our domestic hot water, and we've got 5 radiators placed around the exterior of the house. So when this is on, the heat is actually, you know, coming out, and it's nice by the fire, but from the radiators from the exterior it sort of funnels in, and then, you know, we lose heat upstairs, but it doesn't seem to matter because it's continually cycling from the external radiators. So I just love this. It's got a heat pump and uses very little power. Yeah. So in winter, you know, I'll just slow cook all day on that, and the kettle's always on. These poles were planted. This is poles that a former member of Murramurra planted in a windbreak and then gifted us as part of our house, which was really nice. And these are our stair treads. As I said, nothing is finished here. Everything has yet to be finished. So chicken wire was never the plan around our stairwell, but it was when the building inspector was coming, it sufficed. So yeah, we joined Railway Sleepers and we got our friend Vaughan to weld up these brackets that went underneath there so we can hang things like chilies and stuff, you know, drying herbs and things like that inside. We got a beautiful. We actually bought a Lucas mill and milled whatever timber we couldn't reclaim. We actually chopped down some pine trees that were here shading the house and milled our timber for stud framing. But we milled other. We got a slabbing mill as well, and yeah, milled any other timber. So yeah, as much as we could. What else? The kitchen was second-hand kitchen that we just popped in here. So we've got gas cooking, and I'd like to do away with gas, actually. It'd be great. We're going to get some induction cookers. And yeah, we do try and use electric when the sun is out. I bought an electric fire pan, but you know, I guess when we first came here, you know, we didn't have the power that we have now because we're connected to a huge solar farm. That brings me back to the fire. I should have said that, you know, we have three-way hot water. So we have the wood-heated hot water from the fire, solar, and then a gas booster backup. That felt very indulgent when we moved here because we lived for 8 years just on a chip heater with wood. And it was really luxurious to always have hot water. And now I think we should change from gas to electric. But you know, that's, I guess, as the times change, you know, we move on. This is our greenhouse. These doors were from an old church in Camberwell, actually. Aren't they beautiful? Our greenhouse was like a passive heating design. I don't think it works as well as I would have liked because it actually, when it's summer, you actually want to close the doors. You don't want to let the heat in. And in winter, you know, there's a very short period of time where it actually works as it's intended. So I don't know if that design feature was the best, but definitely having a little garden to grow, you know, grow your veggies in attached to the house is good. And a place to dry the clothes so you never have to worry about them getting wet when it rains. And a place to propagate seedlings. I've been propagating, you know, for the garden over here. And yeah, that's kind of like just a small little, you know, yeah, it's just a great place. And it's also the place where the kids make the mess, you know, and they're painting and yeah, because we actually moved in here. Tiger was 3 months old when we moved in here and the house was nowhere near finished. We didn't have a kitchen or, you know, anything or even a floor in. So we've done a lot of work, but it's slow going and it's just, you know, we've actually lived in here at times when we put the floor in and yeah, it is a great versatile space. Then we go to the bathroom, which is next to the bathroom. I always wanted to have like an indoor-outdoor feel bathroom. There's definitely pros and cons to this. One is that the sun has sort of a bit perished the resin on the bath, which is a shame. And this is nowhere near finished, this room, but it does get, the floor gets quite mouldy because of the sun and the heat. You just can't really stop it. But one day we will finish this space and yeah, it's a really nice place to have a bath. What else have we got? Up the top, you'll see those windows, that's in the cupola it's called. And this is our internal drying rack. It's great, everything dries overnight there. When I had nappies, they were just done. But up there is a good space. We actually have winder, and we can open the windows to let the heat out at the top in summer and close them in winter to keep the heat in. So that was another passive heating, cooling design that we put in. We chose to have a 9-sided house because originally we were going to have an octagon, but when we drew it out, we actually didn't have enough walls for the spaces that we were trying to create, I guess. It felt like some spaces were going to be cramped and some, yeah, just not facilitated for. So 9-sided made sense, and we really like the sacred geometry aspect of the 3x3. It gave us enough walls upstairs to make, you know, even sized bedrooms and for all the kids. And yeah, it was sort of a practical decision really, but we really like having a nanagon. It's a nice shape and it fulfills all of the space requirements. Yeah. So the house has had to adapt for our changing family. Originally, we were only going to have 2 children when we had planned and started building the house, and you know, surprises happen, and Tiger came along, and then yeah, we needed an extra bedroom. Actually, what happened is we did just build 3 bedrooms upstairs to start with, but recently we've had to renovate and to give Tiger her own room and yeah, kind of knock out internal walls, and I think it's been a costly exercise, but we were already so far into the build to change it as soon as we had a baby. And I think we've been building for about 8 years or something, so it's definitely come to kind of a halt really. I feel like we did a lot when the kids were really little, and I don't know how, because right now I feel really unable or incapable of carving out the time to do the things that need doing above the maintenance that needs doing now too. If I had to give advice to owner builders, I would say that allow more time than you think you're going to need, especially for permits, depending on what council area you're in. You know, it actually took a lot longer to get the permits than we had anticipated. And the other thing is just keep a watch list on everything on, you know, Marketplace, Gumtree, eBay, and start collecting early, because that's how we managed to, I guess, build around the assets that we got along the way. Like these big windows, we actually had designed the ceiling lower, but we wanted to have 1 straw bale width above the windows. So when we got the windows and they happened to be bigger than we'd planned in, but they were such a good deal, we were able to then adjust the ceiling height on the plans before we started building. And yeah, I would also, if you had the ability or luxury to mill your own timber from the land, it feels like a really ethical way to do it, and I would definitely do that again. Yeah, I think maybe go easy on yourself too. I've seen some people, you know, marriages fall apart and, you know, relationships end over owner building, but I think we've done all right. I think we've just sort of, you have to prioritise, I guess, what you want to let go of and what aspect of your building that you really need, maybe more than is, you might have designed the progress or the process to be a different way, but as you meet your needs, I guess that goes back to the needs of the changing family, to just finish those areas first. And yeah, hence why we haven't, I don't know if that's good advice, because we haven't finished after all these years. But yeah. So the estimated size of the house is about 200 square metres, which is bigger than I think we need. I would do things differently next time. You know, we're heating extra space, and it does take a lot of wood over winter to do that. I think it's very hard to estimate how much it costs, because nearly everything is reclaimed, and we used a lot of, I mean, obviously our own labour, but a lot of friends' labour, and, you know, bless them for all their helping hands. And I would say about 220,000. but it's over a long period of time. I'd say, you know, more than 10 years now. And so, I don't know, no record keeping kind of went into that phase, but it feels, I think, roughly 220,000. And I think that's a very good price for what we have, even though it's not finished. To finish it would cost a lot more. I feel like they're the parts that need, you know, a bit more work. Actually, one thing I didn't talk about was our septic. So we've got a worm farm septic system called an on-site worm farm, and that's all of our grey and black water goes into that, and it drains down into underground trenches and septic pits. So our energy systems here include, I think, the passive solar aspect of the house being north facing, and we are also connected to a 2 kilowatt independent standalone solar power system, but luckily we're connected also to a 50 kilowatt solar farm, and we feel very lucky. We've been able to give our generator away, which has been a big blessing. We had a dirty old diesel generator. So we have 5 people living in the house, Ollie and I and our 3 kids, and they're growing into big people. So yeah, there's always lots of other people here. So the house is, yeah, very comfortable to have lots of people in, and the kids get to have, you know, quite sizable bedrooms, I'd say. Yeah, it seems to function well for 5 people, this house. During lockdown, we felt really fortunate. We have a lot of outside space, and the kids are mountain bike mad, so they've been building tracks in our bush here and, you know, getting together with the other kids to do so. And that has given them a lot of a time in the bush, and good for mental health and physicality. And we have a pet cow and a goat and a horse, so yeah, we've been able to ride, and just, yeah, the house feels spacious enough that we haven't been on top of each other, and as is the property. So I felt so fortunate to be at Murramurra during lockdown.